My friend, can I ask you something real today? When you lay your head on the pillow at night, are you truly sleeping or are you tossing and turning, calculating how you're ever going to pay off those debts piling up on you? Be honest, has debt ever made you physically sick with worry? If that's you, type "that's me" in the comments right now because you're not alone. Today we're going to unpack something radical, Jesus' advice on financial worry. And I'll show you how, if you apply it to your finances, it can actually get you out of debt. That's right. Not just make you feel better about your debt, but actually help you destroy it, manage it wisely, and escape it step by step. So stay with me. If you've ever been told just pray and hope for the best or just hustle harder, I want to show you something deeper. Jesus didn't ignore debt. He gave a mindset and a system that works. Part 1. Worried sick about your debts? Jesus' simple advice on financial worry. Section 1. The reality of debt. It's just backlog. Let's start with a truth bomb. Debt is just backlog. It's money you should have handled yesterday, but you didn't. It's yesterday's groceries, yesterday's electricity, yesterday's rent, yesterday's car payment, all waiting for you today. And here's the problem. Backlog doesn't sit quietly. It grows. It multiplies. It calls for attention with interest. And if you don't silence it, it shouts louder and louder until it takes your peace, your sleep, and eventually your hope. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how missing just one payment makes the next month feel twice as heavy? It's like skipping one meal. Suddenly you're not just hungry, you're starving. That's backlog. So what's the best way to deal with backlog? Simple, don't let it accumulate in the first place. Jesus said something powerful in Matthew 6:34. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. That's not just spiritual poetry, it's a financial strategy. If you cover today's needs today, backlog dies. If you win financially today, tomorrow will take care of itself. Think about it. If you just stop adding to the pile, eventually the pile gets smaller, not bigger. Question for you. What's one backlog bill that's haunting you right now? Comment it below. It might be rent, school fees, or a credit card. Let's expose it by naming it. Section 2. Stop thinking monthly, think daily. Now here's where we go deeper. Most of us think in monthly terms, monthly salary, monthly rent, monthly debt repayment. But let me challenge you. What if that mindset is the very trap keeping you stuck? Debt doesn't grow monthly, it grows daily. Interest ticks like a clock. So if you're fighting a daily enemy, why are you only swinging your sword once a month? Here's the shift. Divide your monthly debt repayment into daily portions. If your repayment is $600 a month, that's about $20 a day. Now ask yourself honestly, can you find a way to make $20 today above your normal expenses? Can you sell something small, do a side gig, or even cut back a little just for today? See, debt looks like a giant when it's monthly, but shrink it down to a daily fight and suddenly it feels possible. This is why Jesus said, "Give us this day our daily bread." Notice he didn't say monthly bread, because breakthrough is a daily discipline, not a monthly miracle. Engagement moment. Drop in the comments right now. What's one simple thing you could do today to make even an extra 5 to 10? Don't underestimate it. It adds up. Section 3. Win the day, win the war. Let's get practical here. Say you miss a day. You only made $10 when your target was 20. Do you panic? No, because what matters is the week as a whole. Every week, your income must beat 2 things. 1, your weekly share of the debt repayment. 2, your weekly life-sustaining needs. If you manage that, you're safe. And if you don't manage it with your current income, then listen carefully. You need to find an extra stream. That might mean a part-time job, freelancing, or even selling something temporarily. But don't think of this as punishment. Think of it as a strategy to choke debt's oxygen supply. Imagine your debt like a fire. Every late payment throws more wood on the fire. But every daily repayment is like throwing a bucket of water. You can put out even the biggest fire if you keep throwing water daily. Question, if you had to choose, would you rather work a little extra now and be debt-free in 5 years? Or keep the same lifestyle and still owe the bank 20 years from now? Tell me in the comments. I want to know where your mindset is. Section 4. Debt isn't just money, it's stress. Now let's be real. Debt isn't just numbers on a statement. It's stress. It's that tight feeling in your chest when you see the bank's SMS. It's the fear of opening the mailbox. It's the shame of ducking calls from creditors. But here's the danger. Stress kills creativity, and creativity is the bloodstream of money-making ideas. Without creativity, you stay stuck in the same job, the same income, the same expenses. Have you ever noticed? When you're relaxed, your brain sparkles with ideas. But when you're stressed, you can't even think straight. That's why Jesus didn't just say pay your debts. He said don't worry, because worry itself is what keeps you from the breakthrough. Ideas you need to get out of debt. Let me illustrate. A stressed-out farmer plants seeds in panic, throwing them carelessly. His harvest is poor. But a calm farmer plants each seed wisely, waters daily, and reaps abundantly. Which farmer are you being with your money? Comment below. Do you feel your debt stress has been blocking your creativity? Yes or no? So here's where we're going next. I'm going to show you a powerful trick, how even small daily repayments can save you thousands in interest and cut your repayment time drastically. We'll look at the difference between paying your mortgage monthly, weekly, or even daily, and the results will shock you. But before we dive there, remember this: debt is backlog. Stop backlog today, and tomorrow will already be lighter. Win the day, and the war is already turning in your favor. Part 2. The secret power of daily and weekly debt payments. So now that we understand that debt is backlog, and the key is to deal with it daily, not monthly, let's go deeper. Because if you truly get what I'm about to share, you could cut years off your debt repayment, save thousands in interest, and finally feel the joy of seeing that balance drop faster than you ever thought possible. Are you ready? If you're ready, type "I'm ready" in the comments. Section 1. The interest trap. Let's start with the obvious. Every debt has a hidden thief built in, and its name is interest. Think of interest like a leech. Every day you keep that debt alive, the leech sucks more blood. And if you only pay once a month, you're letting that leech sit on you for 30 days straight before you shake it off. But what if you shook it off every day? What if instead of waiting until the 30th to pay $600, you paid 20s every single day? Let's do the math. Section 2. The businessman's daily mortgage strategy. Imagine a businessman. We'll call him Daniel. Daniel has a home, mortgage of $100,000 at 10%, annual interest. His bank expects him to pay monthly installments. Now, Daniel's business gives him daily cash flow. He gets money in almost every day. Most people in his shoes would hold that money and pay at the end of the month. But Daniel is smart. He starts paying his lender daily. Here's the miracle. Every time he pays, his outstanding balance shrinks, which means the bank has less to charge interest on. So instead of interest piling up on the full, $100,000 for 30 days, interest keeps dropping daily as the balance shrinks. End result? Daniel ends up saving years off his mortgage and tens of thousands in interest payments. If Daniel's bank won't take daily payments, he can just put his extra cash into a call account or something similar each day. That way, the interest he earns will help chip away at the interest he owes on his debt. Question for you. If your bank allowed it, would you be willing to pay daily if it meant saving thousands? Drop a yes in the comments if you would. Section 3. The weekly versus monthly job dilemma. But let's be fair, many people aren't business owners. They get their income through a salary. So let's talk about the employed person. Most jobs pay monthly. You work for 30 days, then they pay you. But what if you could get paid weekly instead? Let's compare. Scenario 1. Sarah earns $2,000 monthly, and she pays her mortgage in one shot at the end of the month. Scenario 2. Sarah switches to a job that pays the same, $2,000, but in weekly installments of $500. She uses that to pay her mortgage weekly. Guess what happens? In scenario 2, Sarah's debt balance drops 3 weeks earlier. Every month compared to scenario 1, that means less interest charged overall. By the end of her loan term, Sarah saves thousands just by changing how often she pays. Same income, same debt, same person. But just a shift from monthly to weekly changed the game. Now imagine if Sarah could make extra daily payments from side hustles or selling something on the side. Her debt clock would melt even faster. Engagement moment. Comment below. Do you get paid monthly or weekly right now? And if you had the choice, would you switch to weekly? Section 4. The psychological shift. Now let me tell you a hidden secret, not just financial, but psychological. When you see your debt balance going down every week or even every day, something shifts inside you. You stop feeling hopeless. You stop worrying as much. Suddenly you feel like I can do this. This is powerful because, as we said earlier, worry kills creativity. But seeing progress sparks creativity. It's like weight loss. If you weigh yourself monthly, you might give up too soon. But if you weigh yourself weekly and see even a small drop, it motivates you to keep going. Debt works the same way. Frequent payments, frequent victories. Frequent victories mark less stress. Less stress, more creativity to earn more and finish faster. Comment below, would it motivate you more to see your debt shrink weekly or daily, rather than waiting a whole month? Section 5. If you can't pay daily, pay weekly. Now I know what some of you are thinking. But I don't have daily cash flow. That's okay. If you can't pay daily, then pay weekly. Even weekly is still better than monthly. The point is this: the more frequently you attack your debt, the less power interest has over you. It's like cutting a tree. If you only swing the axe once a month, the tree laughs at you. But if you swing it daily, the tree knows its days are numbered. Engagement. Drop in the comments. What's one small side hustle or task you could do to generate weekly cash just for debt repayment? So here's where we are. We've seen that debt is backlog, and that daily or weekly payments shrink backlog faster than monthly ones. But now we need to address the real battle. Not just numbers, but worry. Because even if you pay daily, if your mind is drowning in stress, you'll sabotage yourself. Part 3. Worry. The silent killer of creativity and financial breakthroughs. So now you know how daily or weekly payments can slash your debt faster. But let me ask you, what good is the strategy if your mind is still in chains? Because here's the truth. Debt isn't just a money problem, it's a mind problem. And the biggest weapon the enemy uses against you in debt is worry. Section 1. Why worry is so dangerous. Let's be honest. Worry feels like you're doing something, but it accomplishes nothing. It's like running on a treadmill. You're sweating. You're exhausted, but you haven't moved an inch. And financially, worry is even worse. Why? Because worry blocks creativity. And creativity is the bloodstream of wealth. Every business idea, every side hustle, every cost-cutting strategy, it all flows from creativity. When you worry, your brain goes into survival mode. You can't think big. You can't innovate. You can't see opportunities that are right in front of you. Jesus knew this. That's why he said in Matthew 6:27, "Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" We could rephrase it today. Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single dollar to your income? The answer is obvious. No. Engagement, be honest. Has worry ever made you miss an opportunity because you were too stressed to notice it? Comment yes or no. Section 2. Restructure, don't suffocate. So what do you do when debt stress is choking your creativity? Here's a surprising answer. Sometimes you need to restructure your debt. Yes, it may feel painful. Your credit score might tank. You might feel like you've failed. But listen, peace of mind is worth more than a perfect credit score. Why? Because peace gives you back your creativity. And creativity is what will get you out of debt faster in the long run. Let me say this straight. If you need to refinance, consolidate, or negotiate with lenders, do it. Free up your mind so you can breathe again. Comment, would you rather have a perfect credit score, but live in constant stress, or restructure and regain peace of mind? Type peace if you choose peace. Section 3, the credit score illusion. Now let's expose a huge financial lie, the worship of the credit score. Have you noticed something strange? Someone who lives debt-free, always paying cash, is considered to have a low credit score. Meanwhile, someone drowning in loans but paying on time is rewarded with a high score. Does that sound like financial wisdom or financial slavery? A credit score isn't a measure of how wise you are. It's a measure of how good a slave you are to the financial system. Banks don't reward you for being free. They reward you for being profitable to them. Now here's the deeper truth. Would you rather be praised by the slave master or despised by him because you're free? The Bible says in Proverbs 22:7, the borrower is servant to the lender. Notice, it doesn't say sometimes. It says is. The system is designed to keep you a servant. Engagement. Do you agree that credit scores are more about keeping people in the system than helping them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your view. Section 4. The bigger conspiracy. Manufactured scarcity. Let's widen the lens. The financial industry isn't alone in this. They've teamed up with luxury brands, diamond industries, and even governments to create artificial scarcity. Think about it. Diamonds aren't really rare. They're stockpiled and released slowly to keep prices high. Luxury goods aren't truly exclusive. They're deliberately limited to make you desperate to buy. Banks do the same. They create money endlessly behind the scenes, but then act like they can only lend to a select few with the best scores. It's manipulation, and at the heart of it, greed. And what does the Bible say? The love of money is the root of all evil. 1 Timothy 6:10. So when you feel rejected by the system, remember this. It's not because you're unworthy. It's because you're waking up. Engagement. How do you feel about this? Do you think financial institutions truly want people free? Or do they want people bound? Comment below. I'd love to hear your take. Section 5. Jesus' prescription. Focus on today. Now let's return to Jesus' words. Do not worry about tomorrow. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:34. This wasn't just comfort, it was strategy. Because when you focus on today, two things happen. 1. You stop worry from robbing your creativity. 2. You handle backlog before it grows. If you invest today, tomorrow will take care of itself. If you win today, the week will take care of itself. If you live debt-smart today, your future freedom is guaranteed. It's the same in farming. If you plant today, water today, and weed today, you don't need to worry about the harvest. The harvest is automatic. So now we've seen worry is the killer of creativity. Restructuring is sometimes necessary. Credit scores are an illusion of slavery, and Jesus' solution is to focus on today. Part 4. Daily Victories. How today builds generational breakthroughs. So here we are. You've seen how Jesus tells us not to worry about tomorrow, but to focus on today. But what happens when you actually do this? Day after day, week after week. You create momentum. And momentum is the key to financial breakthroughs. Today, we're going to see how small daily wins compound into freedom, surplus, and even generational inheritance. Section 1. Your breakthrough is daily, not instant. Let's be real, we live in a world addicted to instant results. People want debt gone overnight. They want success in a week. But real God-ordained breakthrough is daily. Look at how Jesus taught us to pray. Give us this day our daily bread. Not monthly bread, not instant bread, daily. That means every day you win financially, by earning, by repaying, by saving, by investing. You're stacking bricks on the wall of your financial freedom. It may feel small in the moment, but here's the truth. Daily victories become weekly success, then monthly progress, then yearly transformation. Engagement. What's one small daily win you can start today? Cutting a cost, earning extra, or making a tiny repayment? Drop it in the comments. Section 2. From survival to surplus. Let me paint the picture. When you stop backlog and win daily, something amazing happens. First, you stabilize. You're no longer drowning. You can breathe. Next, you see debt shrinking. That gives you confidence. Finally, you cross into surplus. Surplus is when you don't just cover your needs, you have more left over. And do you know what surplus is for? Surplus is seed. With surplus, you can start to invest. You can start to give. You can start to bless others. The Bible says in Deuteronomy 28:12, you will lend to many nations but borrow from none. But notice, before you can lend, you need surplus. And surplus comes from daily victories. Engagement. Comment, surplus is seed. If you're ready to move from survival to surplus. Section 3. Learn under tutors and governors. Now here's where many people miss it. God has abundance ready for you, but He only releases it when you're ready to handle it. Galatians 4:1-2 says, the heir, as long as he is a child, differs nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all. But he is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. That means, even though you're an heir of God's wealth, you won't touch it until you've trained. Tutors are mentors. Governors, systems and disciplines. So let me ask you, who are your financial tutors right now? Who are you learning from? What systems are you submitting to so you can grow? Because without learning, without discipline, wealth will slip right through your fingers. Engagement. Type the name of one financial book, mentor, or YouTube channel that has helped you grow. Let's share resources in the comments. Section 4. Preparing for inheritance. Here's a hard truth. God won't give you what you can't manage. All silver and gold belong to him, Haggai 2:8. But he's not wasteful. If you can't handle $100 wisely, why would he trust you with $10,000? If you can't steward daily bread, why would he release kingdom-level abundance? That's why your financial inheritance is waiting, but it's waiting for your maturity. Your debt freedom journey is not just about paying off bills, it's about training your heart and your habits. So when the abundance comes, you won't just waste it, you'll multiply it. When the opportunity opens, you'll be ready. Engagement. Come out. I'm preparing if you believe God has an inheritance waiting for you. Section 5. Generational Impact. Now here's where it gets exciting. When you live this way, not worrying, but winning daily, you're not just freeing yourself. You're setting up your children and your children's children. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." Notice, it doesn't just say children. It says grandchildren. That's 2 generations forward. So your daily victory today is shaping your family tree tomorrow. Imagine your kids never knowing the stress of consumer debt because you broke the cycle. Imagine your grandchildren starting life not with loans, but with inheritance. That's the power of daily victories. Engagement. Do you want your children and grandchildren to start life debt-free? Type generational wealth in the comments. So here's what we've seen in this part. Your breakthrough is daily. Daily wins build surplus. Surplus, under tutors and governors, prepares you for inheritance. And inheritance creates generational impact. But here's the final piece we need to address. Mindset warfare. Because debt is not just a number, and worry is not just an emotion, it's a stronghold. In Part 5, we'll see how to pull down the stronghold of debt, use spiritual weapons, and step into lasting financial freedom. Part 5. From Debt to Dominion. Proverbs 22:7. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Family, listen, escaping debt isn't the finish line. It's just the starting point of true financial dominion. Because if you only clear your debts but don't shift your mindset and habits, you'll soon be enslaved again. 1. Changing your financial identity. Let me ask you something straight up. Do you see yourself as a borrower or as a lender? Most Christians subconsciously carry the borrower's mindset. It shows in little things, always thinking of what they owe before thinking of what they own. Waiting for payday instead of creating multiple paydays. Saying, I can't afford that instead of asking, how can I afford that? But God has a different identity for you. Deuteronomy 28:12 says, you shall lend to many nations but not borrow. That's not just a verse. It's a prophecy of who you're meant to be. Drop this in the comments. I am a lender, not a borrower. Speak it out and type it. It rewires your identity. 2. Principles of dominion after debt. Here are 4 pillars of financial dominion you must build once you're free from debt. A. Dominion through righteous living. Righteousness is not just about avoiding sin, it's about walking in alignment with God's order. Pay what you owe. Give what is due. Refuse shady shortcuts. You cannot expect kingdom wealth while running on unrighteous principles. B. Dominion through multiplication. You must move from surviving to multiplying. Start putting money into productive assets, a side business, investments, skills that increase your earning power. Jesus blessed the servants who multiplied the talents, not the one who buried it. C. Dominion through generosity. Here's the paradox. The fastest way to stay out of debt is not to hoard, but to give. Proverbs 11:24. One gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give and only suffers want. Kingdom wealth flows through you. The moment you become a dead end, the flow dries up. D. Dominion through legacy. Think beyond yourself. Start planning inheritance. Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Ask yourself, will my grandchildren thank me or resent me for the financial choices I make today? 3. Daily habits that maintain dominion. Stay on budget. If you don't tell your money where to go, it will leave you. Keep a no-debt vow. Even small credit purchases open the door again. Review investments monthly. Don't just invest and forget. Track growth. Pray financial prayers daily, not, Lord, give me money, but Lord, order my steps, open doors of favor, and make me a faithful steward. Cat, engagement challenge. I want you to write in the comments right now. What's one new daily habit you will adopt to keep yourself debt-free and walking in dominion? Maybe it's tracking your expenses. Maybe it's sewing a fixed amount every month. Maybe it's refusing credit cards. Declare it below. It holds you accountable. 5. Closing vision. Beloved, let me leave you with this vision. Imagine a life where you are debt-free. Bills are paid, investments are growing, children are provided for, and you have enough to bless others. That's not a dream. It's your destiny when you labor diligently, deal shrewdly, and stay righteous before God. You are not a victim of debt. You are a vessel of dominion. You are not a servant of banks. You are a steward of God's kingdom. You are not a borrower. You are a lender to nations. Say it one more time in the comments. I am a lender, not a borrower. I walk in financial dominion. Part 6. Dealing with temptation and staying consistent. Now, I need to address something every single one of us faces on this journey. Temptation. You see, it's one thing to say, I will pay down my debt daily. It's another thing to live it when bills pile up, emergencies strike, and your favorite store launches a massive sale. That's when the real battle begins, not in your wallet, but in your mind. Let me ask you honestly, how many times have you promised yourself to save money, only to spend it the next day on something you didn't need? How many times have you thought, I'll start tackling my debt tomorrow, but when tomorrow came, you found another excuse? If that's you, type, I've been there in the comments, because you are not alone. Every single one of us faces these tests. The subtle nature of temptation. Temptation doesn't usually come roaring like a lion. It whispers. It says things like, one more dinner out won't hurt. This purchase is small, it's not a big deal. I'll pay double next week to make up for skipping today. But here's the truth. Every small compromise builds up. Just like daily payments shrink debt, daily temptations ignored make debt grow. Think about it. If you cave to one little temptation each week, that's 52 setbacks in a year. No wonder so many people feel stuck in the same financial cycle year after year. Why consistency beats intensity? Most people want to go big or go home. They make grand plans. I'll clear all my credit card debt in 6 months. I'll stop eating out completely starting today. I'll never buy anything extra again. And what happens? They go hard for 2 weeks, then crash. Why? Because they relied on intensity, not consistency. Let me share a secret. Debt freedom doesn't come to the intense. It comes to the consistent. Paying off $10 daily will do more for you than paying $400 once and then quitting. Why? Because small habits stick? Drop this in the comments so it sinks in. Consistency beats intensity. The power of guardrails. Now, how do you stay consistent when temptations surround you? You build guardrails, just like a road has barriers to keep cars from veering off a cliff. Your finances need barriers to keep you from veering into debt. Here are 3 powerful guardrails. 1. Automate your payments. If possible, set up automatic daily or weekly transfers directly to your debt account. This way, you don't even give yourself the chance to hesitate. 2. Remove the triggers. If online shopping tempts you, delete the apps from your phone. If hanging out with certain friends always leads to overspending, suggest free activities instead. If payday makes you reckless, schedule your payments to go out the moment money comes in. 3. Use public accountability. Tell a trusted friend or family member about your debt repayment plan. Share your daily progress in the comments below. Accountability makes it harder to cheat yourself. Question for you. Which guardrail do you need to put up immediately? Automation, removing triggers, or accountability? Type it in the comments. Celebrate without sabotage. Now here's another trap. Sometimes, after making a bit of progress, people sabotage themselves. They say, I've done so well, I deserve a treat. And before they know it, they've undone a month's worth of effort with one impulsive purchase. Listen carefully. Celebrate your progress, but don't sabotage it. There are smart ways to celebrate. Take a walk in a beautiful park, free yet uplifting. Treat yourself to an experience instead of an expense. A home spa night, a movie marathon. Celebrate by tracking your shrinking debt on a chart and sharing it online. That joy will last longer than buying another gadget. Here's a fun exercise. In the comments, tell me, what is one free or low-cost way you can celebrate paying off a chunk of debt? Staying motivated when it gets hard. There will be days when you feel like giving up, days when the mountain of debt looks too high, days when you think, what's the point? That's when you need to remember why you started. Debt freedom isn't just about money, it's about sleeping peacefully at night, having dignity instead of shame, being able to give generously without fear, setting an example for your children. When you feel weak, visualize the day you make your final payment. Picture yourself free. Can you see it? Can you feel it? That day is waiting for you, but only if you don't quit. So let me ask you right now, when things get tough, what's the one reason you will keep going? Drop your reason in the comments. A word of caution. One last point, don't confuse good opportunities with good excuses. Sometimes when people start making progress, new offers come. A bank gives you a pre-approved loan. A store tempts you with zero down, pay later deals. Friends encourage you to invest in some get-rich-quick scheme. Be wise. If it puts you back into debt, it's not an opportunity. It's a trap. Remember, the goal is freedom, not new chains painted in gold. Wrap up of part 6. So in this part, we learned, temptation is subtle but dangerous. Consistency beats intensity every time. Guardrails keep you safe when willpower is weak. Celebrate progress without sabotaging it. Remember your why when the road gets hard. Beware of disguised traps that look like opportunities. Say this out loud with me. I will stay consistent. I will overcome temptation. I will finish this journey to freedom. If you believe that, type I will finish strong in the comments right now. Part 7. Multiplying what you already have. Investing in stewardship. Family, we've come a long way. We started with the backlog. We fought through daily repayments. We learned to cut off future debts. And we embraced the quiet dignity of living within our means. But let me ask you, what happens when you've broken free? What happens when you finally see daylight? Do you just sit back, fold your arms, and say, at least I'm no longer drowning? Or do you step into the next phase, where God's design for wealth really shines? The truth is, debt freedom is only half the journey. God didn't just call us to survive, He called us to multiply. Remember the parable of the talents. One man received 5, another 2, and another 1. The master wasn't impressed by who had the least. He was impressed by who multiplied what they were given. Drop this in the comments. Do you see yourself right now as the 5, the 2, or the 1? Be real about it. Principle 1. Seed before harvest. Every harvest begins with a seed. But here's the problem. Most people wait until they have a huge harvest before they ever plant. That's why they stay broke. If all you ever do is consume, you'll never multiply. To grow, you must learn to set aside a seed portion, no matter how small. Even if you're just free from debt and your cash is still tight, take something, 5%, 10%, whatever you can, and put it where it can grow. That could be a savings account. Yes, boring but safe. A small investment in skills that increase your earning power. A side hustle that matches your gifts. Or even better, something that produces income while you sleep. The power is not in the size of the seed, but in the faithfulness of sowing it. Question for you. What's the smallest seed you can plant right now? Without waiting another year? Comment it. Principle 2. Don't chase get-rich-quick schemes. Here's where many people fall after debt freedom. They feel like they've wasted years paying off interest, so now they want to catch up. They start chasing shortcuts, crypto hype, lottery tickets, pyramid schemes, shiny promises of overnight riches. Listen carefully, fast money is usually fake money. Proverbs 13:11 says, wealth from get-rich-quick schemes quickly disappears. Wealth from hard work grows over time. I know you're tired of slow progress. I know you want to leap into the wealth of Solomon overnight. But shortcuts are usually just detours that lead you back into bondage. Question for the comments. Have you ever lost money chasing something too good to be true? What did you learn? Principle 3. Invest in what you understand. One of the greatest financial mistakes is putting money into things you don't understand. If you don't get how stocks work, don't throw money there blindly. If you don't understand real estate, don't buy land just because your cousin said it's hot. If you don't know business, don't pour all your savings into a cafe just because it sounds nice. Instead, invest first in knowledge. Pay the price to learn. Get mentors, read, research, take small, calculated steps. Remember, Solomon was the wisest man alive. Wealth flowed to him because of wisdom, not blind gambling. Comment this below. What's one area of money you'd like to understand better before you invest? Principle 4. Multiplication flows through diligence. God blesses the work of your hands, not the laziness of your mind. That means your investment strategy should flow from your strengths. Are you good at creating things? Maybe you can turn a craft into a business. Are you skilled in numbers? Maybe you can analyze small investments. Do you have farming knowledge? Maybe you can plant crops or raise animals that bring extra income. Don't underestimate small beginnings. The little streams eventually become rivers. Principle 5, stewardship before expansion. Here's the kingdom secret. Before God trusts you with much, He tests you with little. Some of you want to manage millions, but you can't even budget 1,000. You want to own properties, but you don't even take care of your rented apartment. You want to lead companies, but you arrive late to your current job. Ouch, I know that stings, but it's true. God looks for faithful stewards, and when you prove trustworthy with little, He multiplies it into much. Question for you, where do you think God is testing your stewardship right now? Write it in the comments. Wrap up of part 7. Family, hear this. Debt freedom isn't the end, it's the beginning. The ultimate goal is not just to breathe again, but to multiply what you already have, so you can. Provide for your family. Be generous to others. Leave an inheritance for your children's children. That's the Solomon way. That's the kingdom way. In the next part, we'll bring everything together. We'll talk about the joy and responsibility of generational wealth. Why your victory over debt matters not just for you, but for those who come after you. But for now, let me leave you with this. If you could multiply your current income by just X without debt, what would you do differently? Drop your answer in the comments. Part 8. The spiritual weapon against debt. Righteousness. Now let's go beyond numbers, beyond budgets, beyond discipline, and talk about the real power source behind permanent financial freedom. Righteousness. Pause for a second and think, why did Jesus say, "Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you"? He didn't say, seek first the money or the business or the side hustle. He said, seek righteousness. Here's the secret. Righteousness is not just about being holy, it's about being aligned with God's way of doing things. And when you are aligned, everything else flows. Let me ask you a hard question. Do you sometimes feel like you're doing all the right things? Working, budgeting, paying, but money still slips away like sand through your fingers? Drop a "yes, that's me" in the comments if you've felt that frustration. That's a sign that the missing ingredient may not be more hustle. It may be righteousness. Why righteousness matters in wealth. Let's connect the dots with Solomon. Jesus gave us that strange but powerful example. Consider Solomon in all his glory. Even he was not dressed like the lilies of the field. Why did he bring Solomon into the conversation about money, food, and clothing? Because Solomon is the blueprint of kingdom prosperity. Solomon asked for wisdom, not money. He aligned his heart with God's priorities. Wealth chased him down. Gold and silver were as common as stones in his kingdom. Now here's the twist. Jesus said that as glorious as Solomon was, the lilies, mere grass, here today and gone tomorrow, had a greater glory because they were clothed directly by God. All of Solomon's wealth could never buy the rarest materials or weave a garment that surpasses the glory of the grass. Here's the principle. When you chase God's righteousness, your wealth will not be artificial like Solomon's garments. It will be organic, God-grown, God-sustained. Practical ways. Righteousness sets you free from debt. 1. Righteousness breaks greed. Debt often begins because of greed, wanting more sooner than God provides. But when your heart is set on righteousness, contentment grows, and you only take on what you can manage wisely. 2. Righteousness protects you from exploitation. The righteous man pays his workers, keeps his word, deals fairly. Guess what? People trust him, doors open, favor flows. Debt loses its grip because credibility brings opportunities. 3. Righteousness invites supernatural provision. Have you ever had a bill due and suddenly a random door opened? A refund you weren't expecting? A friend gifting you exactly what you needed? That's not coincidence. That's God clothing you like the lilies. Comment this. I believe God can clothe me like the lilies. Reflection challenge. I want you to pause and do this right now. Ask yourself, where in my finances have I compromised righteousness? Have I been dishonest on taxes? Have I borrowed knowing I can't pay? Have I ignored my obligations while pretending all is fine? Be honest with yourself. Write it down, then commit to God. I will seek righteousness first. And if you're bold enough, share in the comments. One area I need to return to righteousness is that comment might inspire someone else to make the same turnaround. Call to decision. Here's the truth. Debt is not just a financial prison, it's a spiritual slavery. But the Bible says, the righteous shall live by faith. That means the righteous don't live under the whip of debt, they live under the provision of God. So today I want you to make a decision. Stop seeing yourself as a victim of debt. Start seeing yourself as a seeker of righteousness. Because once you align with the kingdom, wealth will not just come to you, it will stay with you. Let me hear from you. Do you believe righteousness is the missing piece in your financial puzzle? Comment yes, righteousness first, if you're committing to live this way. Part 9, the promise of addition, how God adds wealth without sorrow. Family, we've walked this journey step by step. We tackled backlog and daily repayments. We fought worry and protected our creativity. We embraced daily victories that compound into freedom. We learned the principles of dominion and stewardship. We trained our mindset to overcome temptation and stay consistent. We multiplied our resources through knowledge and careful investment. And now we're here, ready to receive the promise of addition that God provides. 1. The biblical principle of addition. Look at Matthew 6:33 again. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Notice the word added. God doesn't just help you scrape by, he adds extra resources, unexpected provision, favor in business, career, and family, opportunities you never saw coming. This is not luck. It's not chance. It's divine alignment. Engagement. Type, I'm ready for God's addition. If you're ready to receive what God wants to add to your life. 2. Addition comes after daily faithfulness. Here's the catch. Addition follows faithfulness. God adds to those who win daily in their finances, seek his guidance each morning, invest their time, energy, and resources wisely, obey his principles of stewardship and righteousness. It's like planting a seed. You water it faithfully day by day, and God adds the growth, sunlight, rain, and soil fertility. You don't control the addition, but you faithfully do your part. Engagement, comment, one action you will faithfully do today that positions you for God's addition. 3. Debt freedom is only the start. Many people think debt freedom is the finish line. But here's the truth. It's just the starting point. Once debt is gone, God invites you to multiply wealth to bless others, support your family and community, build legacy wealth that lasts generations. Remember, Proverbs 3:22, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Your financial freedom today impacts your children, grandchildren, and beyond. Engagement. Type, I will build for generations. If you want your wealth to benefit future generations. 4. Worry kills addition. Worry is the enemy of God's addition. It clouds your creativity. It steals peace. It prevents you from seeing opportunities God places in your path. Jesus gave us the solution. Focus on today. Do your part. Trust God to add the rest. Engagement. Comment, I will trust God today. If you commit to letting go of worry. 5. Multiplying beyond yourself. Once God adds to you, remember this principle. You were given addition to bless others, not hoard. You were given wisdom to create impact, not just comfort. You were given freedom to break cycles of debt in your family and community. Kingdom wealth is never selfish. It flows through you to transform lives. Engagement. Write one way you will use your future. Abundance to bless someone else. 6. Call to action. Start today. Here's your daily challenge. 1. Write down one daily victory you will commit to today. 2. Pray for understanding and wisdom. 3. Take one practical action toward reducing debt or increasing income. 4. Align your finances with righteousness. 5. Prepare your heart and mind for God's addition. Do this every day. Watch how small victories become weekly wins, then monthly, then yearly. And before you know it, God's addition will flow without sorrow, without struggle, without stress. Engagement. Comment, I start today to declare your commitment. 7. Closing vision. Imagine this. Debt is gone. Bills are paid. Daily income exceeds expenses. Surplus allows you to invest, give, and multiply. Your children and grandchildren inherit not just money, but wisdom, faith, and financial freedom. This is not a dream. This is your God-ordained destiny. Remember, seek righteousness first. Win daily. Multiply what you have. Trust God to add the rest. Final engagement prompt. Type, I will live debt-free and multiply if you are ready to embrace your God-given financial destiny. Conclusion. Family debt is not permanent. Worry is not inevitable. Struggle is not your inheritance. When you follow Jesus' advice, apply practical wisdom, and stay faithful daily, God positions you for freedom, multiplication, and generational impact. This is how you go from being worried sick about debt to walking in peace, creativity, and abundance under God's hand. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Here is a parting blessing for you. Number 624:26. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace.